Okay. So what I was saying was, so we have to put this uh, change this J function over here in the gradient descent algorithm. So ultimately what we will get the function for linear regression. That would be theta, theta 1 is equals to theta 1 minus alpha. Okay, now how this value is arriving. So first thing you have to see that this j theta is this. So when I want to calculate this gradient, that is del j theta by del theta. So whenever we are creating a gradient, we take the derivative. So here there are theta naught, theta 1 up to n terms are here. So it is actually uh, this portion. Where is my So this portion is actually j change in j theta naught theta 1 up to theta n with respect to del theta j. So when I want to calculate it with respect to only theta 1, so I'll take the derivative of this whole term with respect to theta 1 and put it to 0. Then again, if I want to calculate it with respect to theta 2, I'll take it the derivative of this whole above term with respect to theta 2 and then put it to 0. So this way it comes. So if I take the derivative of this j theta naught theta 1, so it will this 2 will come over here because del by del of x square with by x is equals to 2x with respect to x. Okay, so this 2 will come over here and this 2 will get cancelled. So this is 1 by m. So remaining part would be 1 by m sigma I is equals to 1 to m h theta x I minus y I as it is. So this is how it is arriving. So this is the final cost function that is arriving. This is gradient descent for linear regression. Okay, so you'll see it in the notes as well. If you have gone through it, you'll find that. So the final gradient descent algorithm is this uh, over here. Theta 1 is equals to theta 1 minus learning rate 1 by m sigma I is equals to 1 to m h theta xi minus yi dot xi. Now because theta naught is not dependent on x, because we know that hypothesis is equals to theta naught plus theta 1 x plus theta 2 x and so on. So theta 1 is not dependent on x. So here there is no multiplication term with respect to x. While in rest of the thetas, that is theta 1, theta 2 up to theta n, this is the multiplication of x over here. So this is the final gradient descent algorithm for linear regression. Okay. One thing that we have not discussed in the last turn, that was we know that we are updating theta j by what is happening outside. Del by del theta j theta to theta n. This is the gradient descent algorithm. Now at every step we are basically subtracting some term from this theta j. So why we are only subtracting? Suppose this is my theta 1, let's say, and this is j theta 1. Okay, so this was like this, and this is the whole function that I have. Now if I am over here and if I move in this direction, then theta 1 is getting added. You can see that theta 1 plus something would I'll reach over here, then theta 1 plus something I'll reach over here, and so on. But if theta 1, but if I am at this location, my starting point is this. At this moment, theta 1 is decreasing, right? So why we are only decreasing this term? We are only subtracting. So what if my location is this one? What if I am over here somewhere? So this will again get reduced, right? So we don't want to move in this direction. We want to move in this direction. So this term is negative because this whole this whole term this term is basically slope, right? Slope is change in x-axis over change in y-axis over change in x-axis. So this is change in del. Del means small change in j theta, and this is change in theta 1, right? So this is change in this over change in this, that is change in y over change in x. So this is the slope, this is the slope that we have. But while I am at this position, my slope becomes negative because change in when slope is this way it is positive, and when slope is this way it is negative. So if this slope is negative when I'm over here, so this whole term will get something like j minus some slope value. So it will actually be positive. So that is why it doesn't matter whether we are over here, we are somewhere over here or somewhere over here. This is how gradient descent is designed. So that is why we consider slope over here. This was clear up till now. I need responses. If you people don't respond to my questions.
Yes, ma'am, clearer.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever I'm asking something, you people have to write it down in the chat box. I should see that all of you are responding or not. So
The
if
chat is blocked for some people.
chat is
Ma'am, chat is disabled by the administrator.
no, but right now some people were responding over there.
Ma'am, it's disabled.
But some people are still responding.
And it's disabled for some people.
How is it possible?
Ma'am, how would I know?
There is no setting. There is no such setting that some people, for some people it is disabled and some people it is not. Okay, let me check it later
Ma'am,
on.
speak out, it's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We can speak out.
Ah,
It's not a problem, not necessary to type everything.
right. So I need responses that yes, ma'am, from the whole class because you are 150 students and I get only 1-2 yeses. So at least okay. So some yeses in chat box and then rest of you should say yes over with your mic. Okay. So let's come to logistic regression. So आज हम will start with the logistic regression. So linear regression में we have seen that linear regression is for data uh, that is consisting of numerical values. ठीक है? And in logistic regression, so output would be the class labels instead of the numeric values. So till now we have seen that in a linear regression we have some data like 1, 2, 3, and output variable is something like a numeric value, that is continuous value 3, 4, 1. So these all are numeric value. So this is regression. And when we are talking about classification, classification says that suppose there is a problem and it says that this thing is, let's say I'm talking about tumor. So brain tumor is present or not. So it will be yes or no. So there are two classes. So in classification problem, there is yes, no, that is yes means it is present 1 and no means 0. So it is always 0 and 1. So classification is when output labels are 0 and 1. This is clear.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
So we use logistic regression whenever we have a classification problem. Okay. So this is also a regression problem. So everything is almost same. The only difference that is here is there is a difference between cost function that was over in the linear regression, and in the logistic regression we have a different cost function. That is the only thing that is the difference between logistic regression. So I'll speak out some random names and you have to tell me what is the name of the cost function for linear regression. So who will tell me what is the name of the cost function for linear regression that we are using? If some of you don't speak, I'll call out name of someone and then you have to speak. Right.
Mean square error.
Mean square error, right. So cost function for linear regression is mean square error. Why we don't use mean square error in logistic regression? Why we don't use it? So one more question is there, is mean square error is a convex function or not for linear regression?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so this was convex for linear regression. So we will see that mean square error will work for this or not. So mean square error does not works for logistic regression. So for logistic regression, we use log and e to the power x. We'll see how. So let's say, so I have told that presence or absence of a class is denoted with 0 and 1, and that is the classification problem that we have. Okay, so let's say we have, this is the, again I'm formulating the same problem in the regression scenario. So if we have something like presence or absence, so absence of data points, so data points would be representing something like that. So let's say we have set of points, something x and something y. So output here would be either 0 or 1. 0, 1, 1, 0, like that. So output would be somewhere here, either here or somewhere here, right? While in case of a regression, it would be somewhere in the middle or somewhere, because it is a numerical value. So in case of classification, output would be either 0 or 1. So if I draw a regression line over here, it will look something like this. Okay, so it will look something like this. So the idea here is hypothesis if greater than 0.5, if the value that I calculate of this theta naught plus theta 1x. So this is my hypothesis always. So because in a regression, this is my hypothesis. So if I say that a value that I calculate for this hypothesis, if it is greater than 0.5, I will say that yes, I'll predict 1, otherwise I'll predict 0. So that is simple as linear regression. In linear regression, just only difference is y is something numeric. Okay. So suppose I have another point whose x value was something vary and y was something over here, which is very much varying. So my new classifier would be something like this, right? But this classifier does not classifies my data well. It should be somewhere here only, because it should be somewhere here only. So that is why simple linear regression does not work whenever we have only two classes. So that is why simple linear regression, we don't use it for uh, classifying between two classes. So there is we need some additional details over linear regression to make it a logistic regression, for to make it for the classification problem. So here we will use a sigmoid function. So why do we use sigmoid function? Because output of sigmoid function is between 0 and 1. and we want that whatever we give as input 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 0 to up to n, let's say 1000. If in my x-axis, in my x, my range is 1 to 1000, 1 to 500, 800, like this, and then I had something like 1000 and so on, and y output would be 0, 1, 1, 0, like this. So this is my classification problem. So input range is 0 to 100. So if my input range is 0 to 100, so 2000, sorry, so in that case my output would always should be 0 to 1. This is 0 to 1. So middle point would be 0.5. So if I say that for a sample, if y is from here to here, that is from 0.5 to 1, I will say I'll predict 1. And if it is from 0 to y, I'll say I'll predict 0. Okay. So if x can range from any number, y should always be between 0 and 1. So my sigmoid function, what this function does is, it always convert any number z, to 0 and 1. If I put any number z over here, it will give me any value that ranges between 0 and 1. So that is why we use sigmoid function. Our aim is to convert all my y's, that is some numeric y, 3, 4, some numeric y, to this range 0 and 1. So sigmoid function does that. That is why we are using sigmoid function, and this is also called logistic function in this logistic regression. Okay. While in linear regression we were using simple. We were using h theta x is equals to theta naught plus theta 1 x plus and so on up to theta n x. So this was the function for linear regression. This is for logistic regression. So for logistic regression, our function is 1 upon 1 plus e minus z. Z over here is theta t x. Theta t x. What is theta t x? This is multiplication of theta and x. We have seen that theta is again a vector and x is again a vector. So multiplication of theta x. This is again this hypothesis. So hypothesis for linear regression. So if so this is simple logistic regression. If there is a confusion about it, I'll explain this again. Confusions?
No, ma'am.
What about rest of you?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this is h theta x is equals to g theta t x. Why we are writing t? We have seen earlier as well, because theta is a vector of n plus 1 thetas, theta naught, theta 1, theta 2, and x is a vector of again features. So if I multiply both of them, we cannot do it just because matrix multiplication. So this is theta t x, and gz, so I have to put it over here. So ultimately my hypothesis for this is, hypothesis x for this is 1 upon 1 minus plus e minus theta tx. So this is my hypothesis for logistic regression. Okay. Then a decision boundary. So yes, so my goal ultimately is to find out that boundary which classifies these sample examples. So if I say if h theta x returns some value 0.8, so I'll say it belongs to class 1. And if h theta x returns some value which is less than 0.5, 0.3 or something like that, I'll say that this belongs to class 0. So this is overall idea behind linear regression, and I have to identify this h theta x, which is represented by this line.
Madam,
Yes.
Here boundary means 0.5 or any other, ma'am.
Boundary means
0.5 is the boundary in this case, ma'am. 0.5.
0.5 is that value where we have to identify. Yes, exactly. For basically, we have to identify the best h theta that returns the 0.5. Sorry, that returns 1, basically class 1. So we'll see how, but yes, for now, think of it as a boundary. 0.5, think of it as a boundary for now. It is not that actually, because this is only the classifier. This is the equation of line.
Yes, ma'am.
That line which you have to identify which best classifies these two. So we cannot say that, because if my classifier is returning 0.5, if my predicted y is 0.5, so this is wrong, because any model should not predict 0.5. If I'm predicting 0.5 for a sample, how would I classify that it is belonging to one class or second class? So my predicted y should always be something like 0.1. If it is 0.1, then it is belonging to class this. If it is 0.9, then it is belonging to class this. So if it is predicting 0.5, for any training example, if it is predicting 0.5, then it is not a good, what to call, good output, right? So this line basically depicts the hypothesis, this whole hypothesis containing the values of theta naught, theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so clear, whosoever has asked. This does
Yes,
not
ma'am.
this does not represent 0.5. This only represents that we are classifying into two partitions. Basically, this is for nonlinear boundaries, something like that. We are equation of this circle would be something like that. So this is a nonlinear boundary. Now let's come to cost function. So h theta x we have seen is this for logistic regression. We have m training examples, we have n features. There should be no confusion about this. So we have no x naught feature, it is not present. We by default take x naught is equals to 1 because we have to multiply theta vector, which by theta vector is theta naught to theta n. So this is n plus 1 vector, and x is 1 to n. So this is n dimension vector. That is why we take x naught is equals to 1 to make it n plus 1 dimensions. And that is why we are doing theta tx, because theta transpose, sorry, this is theta tx. So theta transpose x is, if I do transpose of this becomes theta naught to theta n, and then I can multiply. This is 1 to x. So it will theta transpose x would be theta naught, theta 1, theta n, and x would be x naught I have put it to 1, and x1 to up to xn features that I have. So this is 1 cross n plus 1 matrix, and this is n plus 1 cross 1 matrix. So now I can calculate. So that is why we write theta tx for n features. Okay, this is clear. So if you have any doubt, then please ask.
No, ma'am, no doubt.
No doubt. Okay. So this is the cost function for linear regression. We have seen that this is the cost function. This is the mean square error function, right? So, but this cost function is non-convex for logistic regression. So we don't use this. So we always use convex function. So that what is a convex function? So whosoever who will tell me what is a convex function? So I'll call somebody's name and then So Dheeraj is present or not?
I'm present.
So Dheeraj will tell what is a convex function.
हमें ये जो कॉनकेव फंक्शन है इसका ऑपोजिट अगर हम ड्रॉ करेंगे तो कॉन्वेक्स हो जाएगा, मतलब कि जिसकी स्लोप बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट होएगी
जिसकी स्लोप बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट होएगी
तो कॉन्वेक्स हो जाएगा।
नो। ओके, कौन अब राघव बताएगा, दोनों राघव में से कोई सा भी।
मैम ये जो पैराबोला टाइप जो फंक्शन बन रहा है ना, ये शायद यही होता है कॉन्वेक्स।
शायद, अच्छा। और जो दूसरे वाला राघव है वो क्या कहता है? एक ही राघव आया है। ओके, तो और कौन बताएगा फिर? आर्यन बताएगा व्हाट इज द कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन।
मैम मैं बताऊं?
हाँ, हु इज
मैम
स्पीकिंग?
कॉन्वेक्स, मैम मोहित।
हाँ,
मैम कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन में हम लोग जब भी एक लाइन पास करेंगे 2 पॉइंट्स में, तो वो जो लाइन रहेगी वो हर वक्त उस ग्राफ के ऊपर लाई करेगी। तो अगर ऐसा होता है तो वो कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन होता है।
अगर हम आई कुड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर कोई एक बार रिपीट।
मैम जैसे कि आपने ये ड्रॉ कर रखा है ना यहाँ पे, तो इसमें से अगर मैं लाइन पास करूंगा तो वो 2
हाँ,
पॉइंट से पास होगी।
हाँ, अगर मैंने मान लो ये वाली लाइन पास की, ठीक है।
हाँ, तो ये 2 पॉइंट से पास हो रही है।
हाँ, एक 0.1 हो गया, ये 0.2 हो
हाँ
गया।
हाँ, तो इसमें ना हर बार अगर 2 पॉइंट से लाइन पास करेंगे तो वो ग्राफ के ऊपर ही लाई करेगी वो लाइन हर वक्त। तो
रॉन्ग,
अगर ऐसा होता है तो कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन होता है।
नहीं। अब और कौन बताएगा?
मैम अबव एक्स एक्सिस होना चाहिए।
मैम बेसिकली
जो भी
यहाँ
2 पॉइंट्स को आप
अच्छा, इस ग्राफ में
एक लोकल
मैम बेसिकली इसका एक ही ग्लोबल मिनिमा होता है।
राइट,
यस मैम।
तो जब भी कोई भी फंक्शन दिस टाइप का है तो इसका ये जो लोएस्ट मोस्ट पॉइंट है दैट इज एक ही मिनिमा, एक ही ग्लोबल मिनिमा। अब लोकल और ग्लोबल में डिफरेंस क्या होता है? एक फंक्शन है इस तरह का, ठीक है, इस तरह का कोई फंक्शन है, वी हैव समथिंग लाइक दिस। अब इसमें बहुत सारे मिनिमम्स हैं, तो अगर मेरा फंक्शन यहाँ पे है और ये चलते चलते यहाँ पे पहुँच गया पॉइंट ए पे, एवरीबडी लिसन वेरी केयरफुली, ठीक है, मैं फिर से पूछूंगी। तो मेरे पास ये वाला फंक्शन है, ये पूरा, ठीक। अब इसमें इफ वी हैव स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए एंड वी हैव रीच टू पॉइंट बी, so after this point at point C, so if I try to move towards C, so मुझे क्या पता चलेगा if I am moving towards C, so it is saying that your value of function is increasing, so it should not increase, it should always decrease, right? We have seen that whenever we are optimizing, our value should decrease. So our model will stop at point B and it says that yes, it is the final answer, this is the minimum value of this function. But this is not what is the minimum value, it is somewhere over D, right or not?
Yes ma'am.
So my minimum value of this whole function fx, whole function, my minimum value is D, this point. While if I'm starting from A, it will say that minimum value is B, but which is not. So this is called a local minimum. These B, C, this is E, this is F. All these points are called local minima. And what is a global minima? For this whole function, the minimum value is this D. So this D is called the global minimum. So global minimum is the minimum of the whole function, minimum value of the whole function. And local minimum is the local minimum wherever we are, from wherever we are starting and we are reaching somewhere at the minimum point from where we cannot go more downwards, we have to move upwards. From that point we call as a local minimum. So all this B, E, F, this B point, this E point and this F point, these are all called as local minimums, and D is called the global minimum for this whole function. This is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever in a function we have only one minimum, this is called a convex function. So this is a convex function. We have only one minimum point. So this is a something, if I have this function, this is also a convex function because we have only one global minimum. Do we have any other local minimum? No, we don't. But if I draw something like this, so we have this local minima as well, we have this local minima as well, we have this as well. So only this function is not convex because we have multiple minimums. So whenever we have only one minimum, this is called a convex function. So convex function is this one where we have only one minimum. So now it is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll ask again. किसने गलत बताया था? लास्ट में किसने बताया था? आई थिंक वरुण ने बताया था.
मैम
यस.
मैम ये जो कॉस्ट फंक्शन आपने लिखा हुआ है,
हाँ,
ये इसी फंक्शन के लिए तो डिफाइंड है, ये जो आपने बनाया है.
ये इसी फंक्शन के लिए ये जो कॉस्ट फंक्शन लिखा हुआ है ये लीनियर रिग्रेशन का लिखा हुआ है. और
तो मैम जो आप कर्व, जिस कर्व पे आप लगाते हो तो ये वही तो कर्व है जो आपने बना रखा है. डिक्रीज करते करते मिनिमम पे जाएगा. तो आपने नीचे लिखा है दिस फंक्शन इज फॉर नॉन कॉन्वेक्स, बट आपने जो बनाया है वो आपने कॉन्वेक्स बताया है.
this function is non-convex for logistic regression. Logistic regression is a different thing. Logistic regression जो है h theta x ये है theta naught plus theta 1 x, और logistic regression ये है. This is linear, this is logistic. So logistic कहता है ये है 1/1 plus e की पावर minus theta t x. This is linear, this is logistic. तो ये बोल रहे हैं कि ये जो मीन स्क्वायर एरर कॉस्ट फंक्शन है, कॉस्ट फंक्शन तो एमएससी ही रहेगा, एमएससी ही है. सो बोल रहे हैं एमएससी जो है लीनियर पे तो कॉन्वेक्स है, लॉजिस्टिक पे नॉन कॉन्वेक्स है. समझ में आया? Whosoever is asking. नहीं आया?
आ गया मैम, आ गया.
ये जो फंक्शन में कॉन्वेक्स, अभी फिलहाल तो मैं ये बता रही हूँ व्हाट इज अ कॉन्वेक्स एंड व्हाट इज नॉट अ कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन. ठीक है, तो ये जो फंक्शन है ये कॉन्वेक्स है. तो अभी तक जो हम मीन स्क्वायर एरर मीन स्क्वायर एरर कॉस्ट फंक्शन जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं वो जो है लीनियर रिग्रेशन पे तो वर्क करता है, बट वो लॉजिस्टिक पे वर्क नहीं करता. लॉजिस्टिक पे इट बिहेव समथिंग लाइक दिस, और लीनियर पे इट बिहेव समथिंग लाइक दिस. सो इसीलिए हमें इसके लिए हमने हाइपोथेसिस तो अलग अलग बताई है. हाइपोथेसिस लीनियर के लिए ये वाली है और लॉजिस्टिक के लिए ये वाली है. ऊपर वाली हाइपोथेसिस इज फॉर लीनियर एंड नीचे वाली फॉर लॉजिस्टिक. तो इसीलिए कहने का पॉइंट ये है कि लीनियर के लिए हम कॉस्ट फंक्शन भी इसमें एमएससी यूज करते थे, इसमें हम कुछ और यूज करेंगे. ठीक है, वो हम आगे देखेंगे कि कौन सा यूज करेंगे. तो अगेन फिर से कौन बताएगा? राघव बताएगा कि व्हाट इज अ कॉन्वेक्स और व्हाट इज अ नॉन कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन. दोनों राघव सो गए?
मैम तो एक बार बता दिया, वो दूसरे राघव बताएगा ना.
नहीं तो तुमने सही नहीं बताया ना. अब तुम बताओ तुम्हें समझ में आ गया कि नहीं?
समझ में तो आ गया मैम.
समझ में आ गया? हाँ तो बताओ, बिल्कुल सब लोग सुनेंगे. व्हाट इज अ कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन?
मैम ये जो फंक्शन है ये लॉजिस्टिक के लिए कॉन्वेक्स नहीं है, पर ये लीनियर के लिए कॉन्वेक्स है. ये क्योंकि उन दोनों का कॉस्ट फंक्शन अलग होता है.
हाँ, ऐसा क्यों है? कोई किसी भी फंक्शन को हम कॉन्वेक्स कब कहेंगे? कोई फंक्शन है मेरे पास ये वाला, ठीक है, ये कॉन्वेक्स है कि नॉन कॉन्वेक्स है? बस इतना बताओ. समझ में नहीं आया इसका।
नॉन कॉन्वेक्स।
ये कॉन्वेक्स है?
नॉन कॉन्वेक्स।
नॉन कॉन्वेक्स है ना, क्योंकि इसके अंदर बहुत सारे मिनिमम्स हैं, ठीक है। और जब भी हमारे पास केवल एक मिनिमम होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड अ कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन। ठीक, अब तो समझ में आ गया होगा सबको।
मैम नॉन कॉन्वेक्स को मैं कॉन्केव समझ सकता हूँ या नहीं?
नॉन कॉन्वेक्स को
कॉन्केव फंक्शन समझ सकता हूँ।
कॉन्केव फंक्शन की यहाँ पे हमें जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, हमें केवल कॉन्वेक्स फंक्शन की जरूरत पड़ेगी। कॉन्केव फंक्शन में नॉन कॉन्वेक्स और कॉन्केव में एक छोटा सा डिफरेंस होता है, बट स्टिल अभी फिलहाल आप कॉन्वेक्स पे फोकस करो, ठीक। ओके, तो अभी तक हमने जो देखा उसमें आपको कोई डाउट है नहीं, है ना? सो लेट्स मूव फर्दर। अब हम देखते हैं कि कॉस्ट फंक्शन कौन सा होगा लॉजिस्टिक रिग्रेशन के लिए। तो लीनियर रिग्रेशन के लिए कौन सा था? लीनियर के लिए था मीन स्क्वायर एरर कॉस्ट फंक्शन। लॉजिस्टिक के लिए होगा, लॉजिस्टिक के नाम में ही लॉग है तो लॉग यूज होगा इसमें, ठीक है। तो दिस इज द कॉस्ट फंक्शन फॉर लॉजिस्टिक रिग्रेशन। लॉजिस्टिक रिग्रेशन में हम यूज करते हैं माइनस लॉग एच थीटा एक्स माइनस लॉग 1 माइनस एच थीटा एक्स, ठीक। सो अब इसको यूज करने के लिए, इसका यूज करने का पर्पस क्या था? सो व्हाई डू वी यूज दिस? सो यूजिंग this is something like, this function behaves something like I'll draw it. Something like this. So log, we know that log graph is something like this. So this point is 1 and this point is 0. We are only interested in between 0 and 1. So this is h theta x. We know that our h theta x is from 0 to 1. So that is why we use log, because suppose we have a data something like this, x and y. So which outputs y is 1 0 1 and output is predicted y is 1 and 0 and 0. So here you can see that output is completely opposite of what is required. So when it is opposite, in that case this function gives output as infinity. So here the value would be, output would be something infinity, because this graph is approaching infinity. So cost of this function will become infinity. So this function is designed like this. If the output you are getting what is required, if 0 is required and you are getting 0, so output you will get is final is cost would be 0. So final cost would be 0. And if you are getting 1 and you are required to be 1, output is you are predicting 1 for your training sample and output is 1. In that case also cost is 0. But when you are predicting exactly opposite, in that case output is cost is infinity. So this function is designed like this, because this is using a minus log function. So this is the definition of minus log function over here. So whenever you are 0 and you are predicting 1, so it will reach to infinity and this point, and whenever you are predicting what is required, in that case it will show your result over here. So no need to get into much detail about this. This is the simply cost function, you have to remember it, and it behaves like this. Whenever if you are predicting the same, if you are predicting same, it will give cost as 0. If you are predicting again same, then cost is again 0. If you are predicting 1 and 0, this is you are predicting 0 and value of y was 1. In that case, it will give infinity. And if you are again the output y was 0 and you are predicting 1, then again cost would be infinity. So this is the overall idea of this logistic regression cost function. Okay. So now we know that the j theta is 1 upon m sigma I is equals to 1 to m for all the number of m is the number of training samples. Cost h theta xi comma yi, this is the cost. Cost we know, we have defined this is as the logistic relation. Now there is one more question. Suppose I have this data set x1, x2, x3 and y. So what is the value of how many parameters are there in this model? Number of parameters, number of features, and number of training samples. That is, so you have to find out the value of m, n, and theta, number of thetas. ठीक है, तो अगर यहाँ पे 4 ट्रेनिंग सैंपल्स थे 1 2 3 and 4. So now who will tell this? So yes, correct. Right. So somebody has answered, and it is the correct answer, because I saw the quiz last time, and so many people have answered it wrongly. So there are 4 training examples. So m is equals to 4. M is the number of training examples, which is equals to 4. N is the number of features. So x1, x2, x3. So n is equals to 3. And then theta is a parameter. So theta would be h theta x. We know we have one extra parameter, that is theta naught, theta 1x plus theta 2x plus theta 3x. This would be our hypothesis. So how many parameters? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 parameters. Okay, so any doubt about this? No doubt. Now, but your data must be having 4 columns. 4th column is for output. Do not consider it as a feature. If last column is always considered as output, do not consider this as a feature. So number of features are 3, not 4, and number of parameters are 1 more than number of features over here. So there should be no confusion about this. Okay. So this is the cost function for what do you call logistic regression, because name is also suggesting that this is the cost function for logistic regression. So let us stop over here, and this is the final. Whenever you put this whole cost function in the this whole cost function in this equation, you will get something like this. So this is the final answer. So here your logistic regression gets completed over here. So this is the final equation. You have to put that del by j theta by del theta. You have to calculate the derivative and put it over here. Derivative of this j theta. J theta you already know. So you have to, and this is your final gradient descent algorithm for logistic regression. There are small differences. You have to just go through it. This is exactly not audible, but my mic is not. Okay, I'll use earphones. So let us. Now it's fine. So let us stop over here only. We'll do a quiz. I'll open the quiz on the LMS.